Today I'd like to take a look at sound waves, sound frequencies, give you a little bit of insight perhaps into why a mix can sound muddy and the reasoning behind that. I've chosen 4 frequencies to record so as we can do some comparisons. The top one, 41 Hz, that's the note of E and is generally the lowest note you'll get on a 4-string bass guitar. 5 strings go lower, but this is low enough for what we want. So that's 41 Hz. The next one is 82 Hz. I've doubled the frequency. When you double a frequency or Hertz, you also take the note up an octave or the sound up an octave. What a Hertz is, within a wave, you get a cycle of a wave, and that is a cycle of the 41 Hz wave. A Hertz is a number of cycles per second, so this wave will play 41 times a second. The 82 Hz, which that is its cycle, will play 82 times a second. And carrying on from that, the 164 Hz will play 164 of that a second. And the next one will play 328 Hz a second. And each time we're doubling, like I say, we go up an octave. Doesn't matter what note you start from, be it an E, an A, or whatever, double the frequency. You've gone up an octave, halve it, you've gone down. Sine waves are interesting to look at as well as see like this. What I'm going to do, I've got down here an EQ plugin. It's a bit more advanced than I'd like to be using, but it's the only one that I know of that's got this piano keyboard down the bottom, which actually makes showing these examples a bit more understandable. You'll see these kind of windowsing plugins as you get more and more used to your software. This one's called a spectrograph, and basically it shows the spectrum of the sound being played. I've made the sine waves using a signal generator, which is a plugin. This is basically it. You've got frequency which you can set. You can also set what type of wave you want. And I'm going to bring that down because it's a bit noisy. And when that starts, you'll hear a sine wave. And in order to see what that looks like, we bring back our EQ plugin, which is also a spectrograph, and we'll start the wave off. And what you'll see is a single spike, and it's around 160 Hz, which is what it says on there. So, with these notes that I've recorded behind, I'm just going to highlight one of them so as it will loop if needs be. Low notes on the left, higher notes on the right, 20 Hz up to there where it says 2K, that's 2 kilohertz or 2000 Hz. You can use either name. Up the side here, you've got the level in decibels. Within your waveform, this short bit is the wavelength, and the amplitude is from the top of the crest to the bottom of the valley. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play the lowest, which is the E at 41 Hz, and show you what it looks like. We've just got this spike at our frequency. If I now bring in the next one, we've got another spike and it's gone off to the right. And if I bring the next one in, as the notes get higher, they go further over to the right. And it's not too difficult to discern one from the other, so there's no real issue there with sounds interfering with each other. What I've got up here, first off, I've got a bass guitar, and that's playing the 41 Hz low bass E note. Have a look and see what happens in this spectrograph when we play it. You notice that we get our initial note. The initial note is called the fundamental. All these other spikes are overtones, and they're created or generated by a thing called the harmonic series. And basically what that does, if you play a note, other notes are created at the same time. That's what actually gives the instrument its sound. If you think about it, we had a sine wave at 41 hertz. We've now had a bass guitar at 41 hertz. Let me bring this one in. We've now had a piano at 41 hertz. But you can tell one's a sine wave, one's a guitar, one's a piano. So these overtones are important. But what they can lead to is muddiness in your mix and a conflict of, I can't hear that instrument. So what I'm going to do, I'm now going to play you the bass guitar and an electric guitar. The electric guitar, the bass on that is 82 hertz. It's an octave higher that it starts than a bass guitar. And what I'm going to do with that is it's going to play against the bass note, and then it's going to go up an octave and another octave, and you should be able to hear a difference in the amount of the guitar you can make out against the bass. And what you may have noticed is that whilst that was happening, the further right of the spectrograph was getting filled out as the note of the electric guitar became higher. Now I'm going to do the same with the piano. So, in order to make it easy to differentiate, it's worth thinking and planning ahead when composing, arranging, recording. Start looking into what octave do I want this instrument to be playing in. Do I want two similar sounding instruments to be playing at the same time? If so, how am I going to hear them? One may play in a different octave to the other. You could pan one to the left, one to the right. You could not have one playing whilst the other one's playing at all. What you'll find, at the moment we've just used a bass, an electric guitar and a piano. Once you start putting drums in, strings, brass, vocals, everything, you want to be able to hear things, and you don't want stuff masking other pieces out. Okay, what I've got is a bass that's playing a little riff, an E, an octave of the E and a B note, electric guitar playing first off the open E chord down the tuning peg end of the neck, and then moving up the neck each time it's played, so hopefully you should notice that cutting through more. And I've also got a piano playing a fairly midway E chord as well, and hopefully you should notice the difference. I hope that's given you some insight into forward planning and also notes, how they're built up, frequencies, etc. We'll dig deeper into how you can get around this. It's not all just about let's pan that left and pan that right. A lot of it's in your arrangement, and there are techniques for making one instrument stand out a bit more against another, and we'll discuss that at length another time. Thanks for listening, and hope it's been helpful to you.